Impact investing is picking up all around the world, but has it come to the region? We're here to find out. My name is Shayan Shakil. I'm here with Bernie DeBoosman. You're watching Inside AB. Bernie, fill us in. What is impact investing?
Well, to put a long story short, impact investing is investing but with a measurable social or environmental benefit. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to make money, but for example, impact investing will be something that you can measure that you've done good in one way or another, either for a group of people or for the environment or, just in general, some things that would be traditionally considered good deeds.
Bernie, that sounds pretty broad. That sounds nice, but it's pretty broad. What are some examples that you can give us?
So in the UAE, Badr Jafar is of course the CEO of Crescent. They have an internal incubator, and what they did was they designed a line of clothing specifically built for laborers that are working out in the hot sun. So these clothes have sensors in them that, for example, if you're overheating, if you're getting too tired, it'll alert the foreman. So that's obviously good for the worker and the foreman, but it's also something that can make money. Of course, there's a lot of places in the world that are very hot and that people have to work in. So that's the sort of idea that you could take further.
Okay, so now the world of finance, especially, the way that these people are taught in schools and, institutions, the world of finance and investing doesn't really measure this sort of like social good. Are schools and academia like coming on board with this sort of impact investing approach?
Well, long story short, again, in the UAE and around the GCC, to this day, not much. There's probably a lot of reasons for that. Badr Jafar, for one, said that, for example, since they're adhering to curriculums that are given by the government, it's not so much the case here. But in other parts of the world, like in the UK or in the US, for example, Oxford has one, Cambridge has one, Harvard has one. For example, Oxford has a 5-day module that kind of takes you through the basics of this. For people that are already professionals and C-level professionals, so that you can apply that to your own business. Okay,
so the best and brightest are learning from the best and brightest. What does that mean for the future?
Well, I think this is something you're going to see a lot more of, because the important factor that pretty much everyone I interviewed said was that millennial customers and millennial potential employees, this is something they're actually looking for. So there's been studies that say that millennials are more likely to pay more for a product if they think that product does some sort of good in the world versus another product. The same thing with jobs. A lot of millennials will, if there's two jobs with similar packages and one has kind of a stated corporate social responsibility mission, or they're doing some sort of impact investing around the world, they're more likely to choose that job than the other one. So I think this is something that more and more companies around the world and in the region are going to start taking notice of.
And I think I remember a quote that said that millennials would be willing to take a pay cut for a job that serves a purpose.
They would, and think about how amazing that is. Now when salaries aren't great around the world, that you'd be willing to work for less for a company that does good. I think it's great.
Yeah, well, I love how this conversation always ends up with millennials taking pay cuts. But thanks for filling us in, Bernie, and as this develops, we'll come back to you for more information. You've been watching Inside AB. Remember to subscribe and comment below, and tune in tomorrow for the next edition in this series. Thank you for watching.